تفضل أخي. The brother is asking, will the disbelievers see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment? The disbelievers will be prevented from seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَ وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى قَالَ رَبِّ لِمَا حَشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى وَقَدْ كُنْتُ بَصِيرًا. This is the proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, that he who turns away from my remembrance, for indeed for him is a difficult life in this life. وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى, and in the day of judgment I will raise him blind. And he will say, oh my Lord, why have you raised me blind when I used to see? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, in the same way my news of my religion used to come to you and you used to turn away, so today I have turned away from you and forgotten you. Forgotten you meaning left you and not cared about you. So they will not see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. تفضل أخي.
Who is the highest part of Jannah for?
The brother is asking, who is the highest part of Jannah for? It is the belief of every Muslim that he must. It is obligatory on every Muslim to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give the highest part of Jannah, the best part of Jannah, to his most beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which you must, and you cannot enter Jannah except through this love. If you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and you love him more than anything else, and you prefer his love over everything else, and you know how much he struggled for you, how much he meant to you, how much he did what he did for Islam and Muslims, then you'll know that there is no one who deserves this highest place in paradise except Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is only when you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send shower his blessings upon you, and also Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will intercede for you on the day of judgment. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever hears the adhan and thereafter after hearing the adhan makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by that dua which has been reported, then my intercession for him is guaranteed on the day of judgment. Now, is there any more for the brothers? تفضل أخي.
You mentioned one of the punishments in the grave when the Prophet ﷺ was going past two graves.
Yes.
What was the other punishment?
What was, sorry?
You mentioned.
Yes, the brothers mentioned one of the punishment was when Rasulullah was passing by the grave. One of the punishments was, of course, that you would that the person would not stay away from dirtying his clothes with his urine. The other punishment was that the other person would spread rumors. He would spread rumors and he would carry tales about his brothers and sisters and spread them in the community. Unfortunately, this is something, of course, that we do all the time, and this is something which is tremendous inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tremendous inside of Allah. As we know, another authentic hadith, Rasulullah had told us the punishment of such a person in the grave until the day of judgment is that he will be made to lie down in his grave, and then an angel will come and he will bring a big stiletto. You ever seen a stiletto, like a knife, and that has a hook? And then it will be made to cut from the edge of his mouth all the way to the back. And then when he has finished on that, he will start on the other side. He will cut from the edge of his mouth all the way to the back, tearing apart everything that is on the way, from nerves to veins to soft tissue to bones, everything. And then whilst he has done this side, and then this side will be healed, and then he will again go back and start on this side again. And this will continue all the way until the day of judgment. This is just his punishment in the grave. In the grave. This is not the punishment in hellfire yet. No. Hellfire is worse. But this is just his punishment in the grave. We can't even take for us to have a cold sore. Can we take it? It is so painful, isn't it? A small cold sore from a small virus. How can we even take someone cutting us up without any drugs? No drugs. Cutting us up, subhanAllah. We just shiver at the mere thought of an injection. You're going to give us injection. At the mere thought of a dentist pulling our teeth out, subhanAllah, we shiver, isn't it? When we hear the drill going zzz, and we shiver, subhanAllah, with fear. How can you take this then? One of the brothers asked regarding the people who will enter Jannah. The people who will enter Jannah will be 120 rows, as Rasulullah mentioned in authentic hadith in Bayhaqi. The people who enter Jannah will be 120 rows. They will be made into 120 rows because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that people worship Him, and entering Jannah is an act of ibadah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants the people who are in Jannah to be in rows. So the people of Jannah who will enter Jannah will be 120 rows. Let me describe the gates of Jannah. The gates of Jannah, as Rasulullah mentioned in another authentic hadith, is that it is 70 years in distance apart. So each gate, Jannah has 8 gates. It is 70 years in distance, and each gate is about 30 years. Each gate, the distance of which is 30 years. It is huge. Okay, huge. We don't know whether that means 30 years walking, 30 years crawling, 30 years what, but this is the way Rasulullah described it. So it is huge. The gates of Jannah are huge, and each gate has its own purpose for which it was set for. So there is a gate of jihad, there is a gate for fasting, there is a gate for whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has wished, and everyone will be called from that gate according to that ibadah which he used to excel in. So if he used to excel in ibadah, in worship, in fasting, then he will be called from the gate of fasting. His name will be called out. SubhanAllah, isn't that another beautiful thing? Your name to be called out. Come, we're waiting for you. And when you enter, as Rasulullah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes, when you enter the Jannah, there will be rows and rows of angels greeting you, saying salam, salam. Rows and rows of angels will be greeting you, salam, salam. And Allah will throw a party in paradise for you. A party in paradise because you, son of so and so, are entering paradise, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you enter, straight away there will be servants, and the servants will be small children. Small children, they are the servants in paradise. They are servants. They will bring plates of food to you. The first food that will be brought to you is this nice, exquisite fish liver that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about. And also they will bring to you fowl, chicken, and exquisite meats. You will eat that in paradise. And as soon as you've had a nice tasty dish, and you have had you've had something to eat, because remember, first you had drunk something, isn't it? So you had enough to drink, so you're not thirsty anymore, you're still a bit hungry. So as soon as you've had something to eat, then comes the time for marriage. That is the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will marry you to your hurul ain, and that is another big banquet that Allah will throw for you in Jannah. Imagine that. Rasulullah be your guest? Abu Bakr and Umar your guest? Nah, they'll be your guest. They've been waiting for us. So subhanAllah, this is amazing. Amazing ajr, amazing ajr. And then what you do is up to you. Whatever you want. Whatever your heart desires, subhanAllah. Faddal akhi.
Will some Muslims go to hellfire on account of their minor sins?
Sorry?
Will some Muslims go to hellfire on account of their minor sins?
The brother is asking, will Muslims go to the hellfire on account of their minor sins? We hope not. We hope not. That is because, of course, if a person is a Muslim and he does his 5 daily prayers, and we know the daily prayers, the 5 daily prayers washes away sins. As Rasulullah mentioned in the authentic hadith, that a person, and he gave the example of a river that flows next to the doorstep, and he said, if everybody washed in there 5 times, would any dirt remain on his body? And the people said, no, Ya Rasulullah. He said, this is the example of a person who makes wudu 5 times a day and then prays, because prayer removes minor sins. This is why the qa'idah in Islam says that if you stay away from the major sins, Allah will forgive you minor sins. Now, bi'idhnillah. Okay, the sister says, in Jannah, when men will be with their hoes, will they still be with their wives? Yes, it's a question I was expecting. My sisters, my blessed sisters in Islam, you will not be jealous over there like you're jealous now. There will be no jealousy in Jannah. There will be no hard feelings. You won't have any hard feelings because you'll have enough to do. You'll have your own riding horse there. You'll have whatever you want to do. And not just that, you will be 70 times more beautiful in the hurul ains yourself. So what have you to be jealous of? In authentic hadith, Imam Muslim Ahmed, Rasulullah said that the believing women in paradise will be 70 times more beautiful in the hurul ain. So what are you jealous of? Don't be jealous yourself. You will be more beautiful than them. So obviously your husband will like you more than his other wives. Okay. The other thing is, yes, when they're with the hurul ain, will they still be with their wives? Of course there will be. Of course there will be. As for women who haven't married in this life, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will marry them in the hereafter, and we do not know how that will happen. We don't have ilm of that, we don't have a text on that.